Hey guys, what to do? I am literally in Copenhagen, Denmark right now, and my hotel's freaking beautiful. Let me just give you a little tour. I'm like naked right now, but it's beautiful. You can see the full glam on TikTok, but they literally upgraded me to like the VIP suite because I'm staying for so long. Anyways, oh, it's so beautiful outside. Hold on. Oh my God. Look, like literally, look. Okay. Anyways, I can't really show too much because I'm naked and I don't want them to see me. But I want to make this video about the possibility of reincarnation and kind of like why I'm leaning more towards why that may be true and why I personally believe that is true. So I've had a couple things happen recently that was unexpected, and I just got done crying. I've been crying like all night. And this is one of the reasons, because I feel like I've been getting downloads from God about, reincarnation and just kind of like, the whole purpose of life and soulmates, etc., and how everything's divinely connected, vibrational, energetic. You know what I'm talking about. We always talk about this on my channel. And I'm literally about to hit the sack and go to bed because like I'm super jet lagged after this video. But I just want to say with this, so there's been so many synchronicities. And I want to share it with you. So my sister passed away, about ongoing 9 months ago now. And before she passed, I noticed how we say passed, right? That terminology, very symbolic with what I'm about to say. I told her in her ear, I said, hey, when you go to heaven, tell God and ask God to make sure that you follow me around down here on earth and make sure that you show up for me. Make sure that you're around me, that you don't leave me. Yes, you're leaving carnally right now, but I want you to be with me spiritually and just show up around me, okay? So I told her that in her ear when she was in a little coma before she passed, like a day or two later. And, I can talk about it now very strongly and confidently because, it's something that I've been healing from, and it's not as touchy because like I've been accepting it. And that's, one of the stages of grief is just acceptance. And so finally I'm at that stage. And it's been pretty quick. So I'm very grateful for the fast recovery. But long story short, about like 2 weeks later, I found when I came back to LA, because she passed in Ohio where my family's from. When I came back to LA, I was at church and I saw this girl that was dressed like her, literally wore the same type of outfits that she wore, same type of shirt, pants. She had the same body build, same type of hair, long, thick, shiny black hair, like, Indian looking hair. She wore the big hoop earrings, just like my sister. I mean, the big, gigantic. And she was praising the Lord in the front row at church. And the side view looked exactly like my sister Savannah. And this is 2 weeks after she passed, okay? And she even wore her hair up in a ponytail with the hoops, like my sister always did before she passed. And it's just, she had her happiness, which I rarely saw because, unfortunately, she wasn't a happy person most of her life due to certain events, which I'm not going to get into now on this video. But my point is, that was a little glimpse of a sign that I requested before she passed. I said, hey, show up for me. And I consider that a form of reincarnation. In the physical, it was her. And God was showing me that she is happy now in heaven and she is released. She's free. She's finally at peace and joyful with God. Whether she's roaming the earth, being an angel for me, or whether she's back and forth between me and heaven, which I have a feeling that's the case, so be it. That's a form of reincarnation, okay? My second point on why I'm leaning more towards the fact that reincarnation may be real is, I've been having a lot of synchronicities with numbers, aka numerology. And so literally right after, actually, I think it was like a month or two leading up to my sister's passing, but mainly 3 months solid after my sister passed. So she passed last September. So the months of like late July, August, September, okay, but then October, November, December, okay, actually 4 months, so February, yeah. So 4 months after she passed, I saw 1111 every single day for 4 months solid, and even a little bit before she passed. So I would say total of 6 months, to be frank. 6 months straight, I saw 1111. And right after that, I met what I believe to be my soulmate, or one of my soulmates. Some people think that you have one soulmate. I'm talking about a romantic partner, yes. Some people believe you have many soulmates. I have a feeling you may have one soulmate, but I've met some people in my life that claim they had a couple. So far, I believe I've met one, which is this recent one. And, whether I'll have more or not, I'm not sure. But as of right now, he's been my only real soulmate. And I gave my all and all of that. And it wasn't, I wouldn't say it wasn't enough, but it didn't work out. And I believe that I had the signs of 1111 to show me that, my sister's going to go in heaven and be happier, which is a positive thing, depending on how you look at it. But I'm choosing to look at it as in a positive way. And then I saw it after she passed because I was going to meet my soulmate. And the definition of a soulmate is someone who matches your soul. Most importantly, just to dive deeper on this topic, I believe a soulmate is meant to not necessarily always stay in your life or maybe be with you until we die on this earth, but that a soulmate is someone who recognizes your soul and you recognize theirs telepathically without words being mentioned, without words being spoken. A soulmate is felt, not always spoken of or spoken to. You do speak to each other, of course, but in the quiet moments, you understand each other, It's like before you meet them, you're not empty. In fact, you're full, and that's why you attracted your soulmate, because you passed the test of not being codependent on somebody, and you're happy with yourself for once, and then bam, God runs you into the soulmate that you need to fill in the gaps that you need to learn. But then unfortunately, but also fortunately, when they leave, you feel this painful, treacherous void that only they can fill. And that's due to heartbreak and attachment, of course. But also I think it's because that is your soulmate. And, whether you reconnect later or whether you're just one and done after a few months, they're supposed to teach you one thing or something, if not a lot of things. And for me, I know this person was my soulmate because he was exactly what I just explained to you of the definition of a soulmate and more. And I never felt the way that I did with him, even in the silent moments, especially. I never felt the gentleness, tenderness, and meekness of a love like that. I never had a man be so soft with me, even in the angry moments and in the moments where I had outbursts. But also, most importantly, the safety that I felt with him and the comfort was indescribable, unimaginable, amazing, perfecto. Like completely out of this world connection. Like a genuine soul connection that is like intertwined with so much honesty, so much truth, so much rawness, and so much soul recognition that I just can't describe any further. Some things are just felt and there's no words for it. And then it leaves you speechless. And this is one of those moments for me. And one of those people for me. And so far he's been the only one. But it's so funny because I thought before him I found my soulmate and many partners, but now this is the ultimate soulmate. So the purpose of him was he was supposed to teach me a lot of things. Are we on talking terms now? No. Are we together? No. But his role in my life served my purpose, and my role in his life, I hope and pray that served his purpose, and I believe it did on both sides. I believe the 1111 led and was preparing me for my sister's death to comfort me that everything's going to be okay and I'm on the right path, and good things and blessings are happening even out of suffering, and maybe even as a result of suffering. Jesus suffered on the cross, so who's to say we will not suffer? And 1111 also led me to my ex soulmate. And now I'm getting downloads after downloads every single day of so much wisdom from God, so much knowledge. I have so much more questions. I'm growing at a rapid rate. I'm maturing and I'm going to the next level. And that's what 1111 in numerology has been doing for me. Now, I'm not saying that this is a fact, that, this is real. For, what was I saying in the beginning of this video? I keep forgetting that term. I'm so tired. I've been crying all night. Reincarnation? Yes. So another thing, my flight came early to Copenhagen, Denmark, and I left my passport on the flight. Here's another thing. And I just got done having a life-altering spiritual conversation with this guy. I was evangelizing to him and shared my story, my testimony. Long story short, right when the flight landed, which it landed 20 minutes early, the flight was supposed to end like literally, 11:31. It ended up landing 11:11. And that was right after, I had that soul connection with him and was sharing my story. Now, in some traditions, people believe that you see 11:11 when you meet a soulmate. Now, I just saw 11:11 just now. Whoa, that's crazy. I just got chills. If you see 11:11, usually that means you're saying something or you're meeting somebody that is on your soul journey. Now, this doesn't mean that you're always going to have romantic feelings for this type of person that you meet. But in my case, like my ex, that was a romantic person. Now, the person I met on the plane, he was definitely flirting with me, but I didn't feel that romantic connection. I felt a more kindred spirit, like a friendship, a teaching moment, like I was the teacher for him. So a soul connection doesn't have to be romantic or your lover or someone you are intimate with sexually. But it's always someone that you're intimate with mentally, emotionally, psychologically, intellectually, and all that good stuff. So therefore, if you view a soulmate as not just romantic, then you can have many soulmates in life. It's someone that is on your soul contract. A soul contract is basically something we all sign before we come to Earth, and a lot of times we don't even remember what we signed up for, but whatever it is, we're in it and we signed up for it. And the people we meet along the way, we're supposed to help through our divine purpose. And only you can know through soul searching, soul diving, and seeking God and having encounters with God. Only then you'll know your purpose. And then you share your purpose with the world and every person that you encounter on your journey. And those are called your soulmates, right? If you want to call it that, or you can call it soul connections if you don't want to call it soulmate. If you save the word soulmate for just a romantic partner, right? So anyways, those were the main reasons I wanted to say, like, starting to kind of, well, here's the third reason. I believe maybe leaning more towards reincarnation could be a thing and could align with even Christian and biblical beliefs and theology as well. Because I'm not taking God out of it. I'm not taking Jesus out of it. I'm not taking the Bible out of it. I'm just not adding to it, but making sense of it, right? I'm kind of conjoining the things together based on my own experiences, the stories I've heard, the things I've witnessed and encountered. Another thing is there's been so many synchronicities, not only just with numbers and feelings and all of that and the people I've met, but there's also been feelings of like, there's been dreams. Like I've had dreams of places that I've never been to, but I was clearly in another country. I was not in America. I've had certain urges to go places. Like right now I'm in Denmark. I just had a strong feeling to come here. One of the reasons was one of the guys on my soul contract was that guy I just spoke about on the plane. I evangelized and told my story, and he actually ended up asking me about God, asking me about my testimony, and asking me what my life purpose is. And I said, my life purpose is to share my story. And that's what I was doing right then, and he thought that was profound. I know he did. But sharing my story is not limited to a conversation. It's limitless, right? I can do that in a YouTube video like I'm doing now. I can do that on the street right now in Copenhagen. I could do that on a phone call. I could do it, relationally, step by step, gently unwinding one block after another block of myself, one layer after a layer. You can share your story in many ways. You can do it through dance. You can do it through writing a book, publishing books, writing a film, directing a film, having Zoom meetings. And so my point is, when you're aligned with God, opportunities are limitless with sharing your gifts and your purpose and getting your story out there and whatever you're supposed to do. There's so many creative outlets to do it. So get creative with it. Don't limit yourself and put yourself or God in a box, because we serve a limitless God. We are limited sometimes, but he is limitless. So we must not forget that. And here's another thing. The dreams, the open visions that I've had while awake, and I've seen objects, people, and places reappear, appear, and disappear in front of my face like it was no tomorrow, as I stood there in awe, complete awe of what just happened. And I was like, what the heck? I'm sober. No one's going to believe this. No one has to believe it. People didn't believe Jesus was the Son of God, but was he? Absolutely. People don't have to believe you. Be comfortable with being misunderstood, because when you are chosen spiritually, when you are gifted, highly gifted spiritually, of course no one's going to understand you. In fact, most people won't. Most people are determined to misunderstand you because they're not as gifted as you, period. They're not the chosen one in the family. They don't even want to try to pursue God. So why are you listening to them? Don't get offended by people not understanding you or trying to misunderstand you on purpose, because most people are determined to misunderstand a chosen one. Most people are determined to misunderstand someone who's different or seen as weird or an outcast in society, because guess what? I am all those words. But it's because I am chosen. It's because I'm spiritually gifted. It's because I'm deeply emotional, deeply intuitive. I'm a feeler and a seer in the spirit. Of course, I have prophetic dreams, prophetic visions. Like, of course, I'm going to be weird. Of course, I'm going to be out there. Of course, you're going to be like that too if you're like me. So you have to breathe and be okay with God being your only audience, not the world being your audience. Because the Bible says that we are in the world, but we shouldn't be of the world, right? So therefore, expect people to not accept you. Expect people to make fun of you, to slander even your name, and expect people to just say whatever to you and really toss your opinion to the side, because they can't spiritually see what they are not trying to see. If you give them spiritual food, if you give what is sacred to the swine, they'll turn around and trample you. Right? Swine, pigs are not that smart. That's why the Bible uses that as an example. So, that being said, if you talk to carnal people who haven't been spiritually awakened, they cannot contain and intake and digest the spiritual food that you're giving them, because they're not spiritually mature enough to see it. They have not been enlightened enough. They have not done soul searching. They have not done healing. They have not been seeking out God's presence in order to be able to take the food that you're giving them, the food that you're dishing out, the food that you're feeding them. So therefore, you need to save what God is giving you and telling you for the people that God sends you, so that you don't waste your time, energy, or effort on people that Satan sends you, or the evil in this world, or the yin yang, whatever you want to call it. The darkness of this world, Dark Vader, if you want to, call it that. And so that being said, don't be scared. Don't huddle in your shell. Don't keep yourself indoors without your gifts being shown just because you're afraid that you're going to be rejected and abandoned. Jesus was rejected and abandoned. Did that stop him? No. He died. He resurrected, but more importantly, he believed in what he preached to the death. He did not care how it was said. He did not care whose ego got hurt. He did not care who misunderstood him, who objectified him, who crucified him. He said, I am going to do this to the death because this is my will for my Father in heaven. So you have to have the same energy. You have to have the same intent. I am going to do what God has sent me out to do, no matter the cost, no matter the weight, no matter the depression, no matter the anxiety, no matter the rejection, no matter the abandonment, no matter who I lose and who I gain, and who passes through and who doesn't pass through, no matter if I'm alone or if I'm with people. You have to be brave and do this. And this is your soul's purpose. This is the contract that you signed before you came here. And I know that sounds weird and crazy, But the closer you get to God, the more you realize that all of us have a soul contract that we signed, that we agreed to before we came. And so it's important that you're aware of that and that you hear that. Just in case if you're not aware, pray about it. If you think I'm crazy and all that, pray about it right now. Ask God. God is faithful. He'll always answer your questions. Maybe not in the timing or the way that you want, but he's always faithful to answer. He's always telling you something. But are you shutting out the world enough so you can hear and listen to what he's saying? That's the real question. So anyways, this is my analysis and my hypothesis on my own life experience and why I'm leaning more towards maybe possibly reincarnations and past lives could be a thing. And it could align with the Bible and it could align with God's will. I don't know. I just watched a movie called I, Origins. So it's I and then Origins. I watched it and bought it for $2.99 on YouTube. Check it out. It was made in, I think, 2016, 2017, or 2015, one of them. But that really opened my eyes as well, and it really taught me a lot. And so, like I said, all these synchronicities, like things aligning, movies popping up, things on my feed, just making me wonder, like, what if reincarnation is a thing? What if it's not separate but a part of the Bible? What if it's not separate but something just that was left out, or maybe something that's left to our imagination and God wants us to figure it out on our own like I am? I don't know. No one truly knows all the answers. We were never meant to because we're not God. Again, we're limited because we're human, but we are spiritual beings in physical bodies, and it is our job to search. And I believe, like the Bible says, those who seek shall find. Knock and it shall be open to you. So if you ask God a question, he's faithful to answer. If you keep seeking, even if you don't get the answer the first time, if you keep doing it for 30 days, you're going to get something. You know, if you keep digging for gold, you might not find something in 6 months, but you will in 12. Eventually, you will find the answer if you keep searching long enough and you don't give up and you stay consistent and you stay persistent in life with anything that you do. So God rewards persistence. God rewards a healthy hunger for his wisdom and for the things that you are curious about. You know, that's why he says, seek and ye shall find, you know. So anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Love you guys so much. I know I was like, should I make this video? I was like, yeah, because this is something that I'm spiritually learning and going through, and I just want to share my wisdom with the world. And who knows, reincarnation could be a thing or it could not, but who really knows? Why not question it? You know, be brave enough and bold enough to step out and question things and ask God of the universe these questions. And also, when you receive downloads and information, take it. Even if it's new, even if it seems taboo, even if your family's going to think you're crazy because you're talking about it or you're thinking it or you're meditating on it, who cares? Because this is your spiritual journey. You don't have to believe the same as your mom. You don't have to believe the same as other Christians in your church. This is your spiritual journey. Keep that in mind. No two humans are the same. No two Christians, no two Muslims, no two Hindus are the same. They have the same belief system, but do they agree on every topic? Absolutely not. If we were all the same, God would have made us all same and not different, you know? So think about that. But anyways, we can all learn from each other. We can all learn from our experiences. And I love you guys so much. I always say, if you ever question anything that I say, anything that I feed you spiritually, go to the Father, go to the throne himself, and he'll tell you if what I'm saying is from him. And that's the ultimate test for anything and everything in this world. You can do that to anyone, for yourself. So anyways, I love you guys so much. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'm going to go to sleep. Shalom, shalom. Mwah.